Welcome to the Innkeepers podcast. We're glad you found your way here.
And welcome to episode 12 of the Innkeepers podcast. We are a podcast for Innkeepers covering Hearthstone's fireside gatherings. With insight and information we hope all of our fellow Innkeepers will find useful. I'm Patrick from Knoxville, Tennessee.
My name is Root from Orlando, Florida.
And I'm Illyri from Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada.
Coming up here on episode number 12 of the Innkeepers podcast, we are going to talk about the Innkeeper Discord server, how it can benefit you, and then give you some hints and tips about actually using Discord.
That's right. And don't forget, for all of your Innkeeper needs, make sure to check out the official Blizzard site, firesidegatherings.com. There's a resources tab there that you can find some cool stuff on. But if you're there, if you're on the web, I almost made it through that without stumbling. If
you're surfing
online,
the web,
if you're on the interwebs, check out hsinnkeepers.com. That is an Innkeeper supported website full of content provided by other Innkeepers in the Discord server. So lots of fun stuff on there for you to try out at events.
All right.
now before we start, don't we have a little bit of some information here, Leary?
Someone has an announcement.
Well, I got
That's all
big
I'm
red.
going to say.
Well, I got big red text first. That's not mine.
You didn't put anywhere on the show notes that you had a big announcement.
I did. It's underneath the red text, which is not mine. That's your red text.
It's just because it took it from the thing above.
Oh,
I didn't make it red. I want to hear this
Great.
announcement that you couldn't tell us.
Oh,
And
that's
just
right.
a quick
Okay.
shout out to Impact in chat, who's saying hi to me. And he says he has
Hey,
to
how
go
are you
soon.
doing? Okay, so
Thanks for joining us.
help me out here with the name of that one Murloc, Sir. What's his name?
Finley?
Sir Finley. So Sir Finley is going to play a little bit of a role here in this announcement. The other thing that plays a role in this announcement is one of our fellow Innkeepers, Maticus. Maticus came to me with a idea about a trophy for his tavern. He wants the Stanley Cup, but instead of that cup on the top, the little glass bowl, he wants a Hearthstone. So it can't be really a Stanley Cup. It has to be like a Finley Cup, I was thinking.
Ooh, I like
And
that.
I'm like, so I'm thinking maybe I could do this. And I start, working on some ideas on this thing. And well, I mean, the bottom line is I have a little scale model of the Finley Cup here.
Holy cow. That
And,
looks
yeah, it's-
amazing.
So it is, silver, little Hearthstone on the top of its head of the cup. And it's kind of a cool little deal here. This guy's only 4 inches tall. So this is not going to be the cup that he wants. The cup that he wants is going to actually be more like 2 feet tall total. And he's got to drive from Canada into the U.S. to pick it up because I am not shipping that thing through customs. But so Maticus, here I've got pictures. I'll send them to Avanti's afterwards. We'll post them up. But yeah, this thing is rocking, man. I think it's going to work. I think you will have the Sir Finley Cup. He's got a great idea too, to have because the Stanley Cup apparently all the winners sign it or get their names on it. So he'll have players actually signing his cup, the winners of it. I guess he's going to keep it in his tavern and let all of his players who win actually sign that cup. And I think that's going to be a pretty cool thing.
So awesome.
I do like how Matt's response in chat was, I'm not calling it the Finley Cup.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, that is so cool. I love it, but I love that he was just like,
He's like, nope.
No, that's really cool. And it's really fun to see what a lot of people are trying to do with cool trophies and rewards like that for their patrons. It's really cool.
Yeah, I won't take up any more time with my 3D printing, but I did finish my trophy. So.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right. So we do have a shout out to Gurius in
Yes.
Middletown. You want to take over there, Illyri?
Sure. So I was talking with him earlier today, and so he has confirmed that it is Garias.
Garias.
Just for anyone out there wondering, it is Garias, and he is from Middletown. I don't know where that is. I think it's in the States. Most people in the Discord server, if they don't say their country, are from the States, which I find vaguely amusing.
I know it says Middletown, but I bet you it's pronounced Middleton.
Well, I pronounce it Middletown. No, it's Middleton. I don't know anymore.
I'm just guessing. 'Cause...
Yeah. So he shared within the past week on the Discord server Hearthstone Kahoot, which is basically an accessible online trivia question game with a ton of Hearthstone questions preloaded into it, and it's public. So you can access it through the side events channel in the Discord server and use it at your events and add to it. And I think it's really cool concept and a really fun way for us all to cumulatively share our trivia questions, because that is one of the hardest things to come up with. If you're sitting there by yourself, you're like, where do I begin? So just shout out to him for making that and for sharing that with us. I wanted to shout out to Sam in Kansas City. He has been running real life dungeons at his events.
Yes.
Yeah, they look so cool, so fun, and they're totally card based. I think he did mention in it that you played basic deck as part of the quest line for it, but he has cards, and he's going to be sharing all of the graphics for those, so we can download them and print them and play them at our own events with our patrons. And that looks so cool, and I love this whole dungeon running idea. I know that there is a big project, I won't say any more about it, a big project coming out for Innkeepers. This is not a Blizzard thing, but it is just this accessible dungeon-esque thing as well. So do keep your eyes out for that in the server. But yeah, shout out to Sam for that. And it just looks so fun to like play a real life card game at a Hearthstone event.
Yeah. So Garias is the innkeeper from Delaware. Just want to throw that out there.
Delaware. Cool. That's awesome. And yeah, so those are my special shout outs. I'm going to try and highlight at least a couple of innkeepers who've been sharing amazing content in the server every week, just so, you know, if you're not totally active in there every day, you can be pinpointed to some of the, you know, really fun new content that's coming out from Innkeepers. But I do want to give a very, very special big shout out to Jordan. And I didn't put where Jordan's from, even though I know where Jordan is innkeeping. Where's Jordan innkeeping?
And he's in Salt Lake, Utah?
City, Utah.
Yeah.
In Salt Lake City, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's over there. And every new card for every expansion, when it comes out, he posts it in our gameplay channel. And I tell you what, I don't look for updates on new cards anywhere else. I really don't. Because he gets them up right away, and it's a really clear, big picture of the card, and it's really cool to see what everyone else says about the cards as well. But just a big shout out to Jordan for that, because that's my go-to spot for it, and it's nice that it's within a little Innkeeper community server. And so those are my shout outs for the week.
There you go. All right,
we need like a little ta-da.
We'll work on some sound effects, but so that brings us to our main topic, which is, as we've been discussing, the Innkeeper Discord. So this community was created to unite innkeepers around the globe with resources and support to run all of these events that we do, all these amazing Hearthstone events. The first and probably most important thing that we can tell you about this is not in any way, shape, or form an official Blizzard server. So this is run.
So we do what we want. No,
that's right. Well, we do what a Larry wants, but you know, but
something like that.
This is all run by innkeepers for innkeepers, just like this podcast. And if you do have official inquiries for Blizzard, please use the firesidegatherings@blizzard.com email address. So, now, it should also be noted, innkeepers of any experience level are welcome. If you've never run an event before, but you are planning to do one, this is a great place to start. If you are a seasoned veteran innkeeper, this is a great place to share your knowledge with everybody else. The things you've learned along the way.
If your last name is Schwinghammer,
Join.
you should
So
be
the
in the
Dust Master
Discord
changed his
server.
name.
If you've ever built an active volcano, you should join this server. I'm just saying.
Get in line, yeah.
If you've ever done full body cosplay of the Innkeeper, you should join this server.
So
We should do like a whole segment, like you might be a redneck and you should join that server. We should do it.
you might be an innkeeper.
I'm gonna write the next week, guaranteed. I'll have
All right. So, O'Leary, you actually started this server. I guess it's kind of been your pet project since we got back from the Innkeeper.
From the summit.
Yeah, the summit. That's the word I was looking for. I was drawing a blank. So,
it was on before. It must have been the first summit because I think. Well,
was it? I don't
not
think
the
it's been
last
around that long, has it?
No, it was so the summit was in July, and I basically the summit last year there was a Facebook group with Innkeepers from that summit on there, and there just really wasn't a space for us to share what we were doing. There was a Facebook group, but Facebook groups are so hard to, keep track of information and share content in an efficient way. And I've been managing Hearthstone communities for a while, and I was dipping into this Discord scene of things, and I thought, wow, like Innkeepers, we could really benefit from some of this stuff, like all the cool things you guys were just mentioning that other people are doing that brings us such joy to even mention. Like there really wasn't somewhere for us to share that kind of in a productive way, especially with all the cool side events and tournament tricks that we're all kind of learning on our own. So yeah, I thought Discord would be a fun place for us to share that stuff. And in June, I think I had about a dozen Innkeepers in on the kind of beta testing it basically, and figuring out what channels we're going to need and getting them set up as mods and things like that. And honestly, it was my brainchild, but it could not have happened without everyone in there. Like not just the people that were there at the beginning, and huge thanks to all of those people as well. But every new person that comes in, it's like Garias, he is a newer member, and he came in and was like, oh yeah, I have this awesome thing. And it's like, what is Kahoot? Like, this is so cool. And so it really is just pieces of everyone. And that's why we have so many channels. But with the categories now, it does make it a bit easier to manage what you're looking for and just get to the information that, you're really interested in.
Yeah. And so when you join, few things that you'll need to know, and that's what we're going to kind of cover right now, is first of all, the rules for the Innkeeper Discord. Basically, it's just common sense type stuff. All members must treat each other with respect. Keep all posts, avatars, and nicknames PG because yes, we are all based around the world, but there are people of all ages in there as well. Do not spam in the channels. And the most important rule of all of them is just have fun. We're all there to celebrate what we do at Fireside Gatherings and help each other grow. So have fun with it.
Yeah, and I think that really is just kind of globally that is kind of what's connecting us, is we're just trying to have fun with it. Whether you're trying to use this as a jumpstart into an esports career, or whether you're just trying to have a little hobby that you do twice a year, there really is a connecting factor between all those events, which is fun and just fun.
Yeah.
Fun, fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to the next, which is the server roles. And there are currently 4 basic roles. You have your moderators, who are your names in orange. They are usually in charge of certain channels. You have your actual innkeepers themselves, who are the bulk of our community, and their names are highlighted in purple. We are blessed enough to have some Blizzard community managers joining us in the Discord to answer questions. They are highlighted in blue, and then we have some community vendors who are there to help us with goods and services for our events. Those vendors are highlighted in red. So that is the best way to find someone to assist you in the group.
One thing I want to mention is as Avanti said, we are blessed to have folks from Blizzard hanging out on our servers. However, that is not their job. They're not there officially in any kind of way, shape, or form. So if you send them a message and they don't reply, tough nuggies. It's not their job to reply on Discord. So you can't get all upset because they didn't answer a question on Discord. However, that doesn't happen. They are very receptive in there. But just keep that in mind. Don't be like, oh, I sent Jesse a message and he ignored me. Well, go to the official channels and he won't. So.
Yeah.
Send him an email.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And
Fireside
while we are talking
gathering
about
set
server
for-
roles,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's the one. While we're talking about it, we are currently at 194 verified members. Now we have over
Very
300
cool.
people in the server, but in terms of verified members, and we do prune every month, guys. So if you haven't verified yourself, super easy. You just need to update your server nickname and post a little intro about yourself. And doing that gets you verified. You don't have to have ever hosted an event before. But yeah, we have almost 200 people verified. And I remember after the summit when it was like, oh my gosh, we have 50 people in the server. And it's just, it really is growing every day. And I do want to give a shout out to the people at Blizzard. I know that they are helping spread the word where they can, because when we're not an official resource, they do see us as a valuable resource for Innkeepers, just because we are, like I said, sharing our content and our creations with each other to elevate the program globally. So I'm really excited for 200. I think that's so cool.
That's an awesome number. And one of the things we have to remember is we are there to help each other. And we'll get into what all the different channels are for that help and everything. Yeah. But there have been events that I've been at where nothing's working and everything's just falling apart. And jumping into the Discord and realizing that, everybody else is in the same boat, and it's a server-wide issue, so to speak, so it's a Blizzard-sided problem. That takes a lot of stress off an Innkeeper, because now it's not your fireside, it's everybody, and it's not a good thing, but it is in a way, because then you can tell people, support. I have a support. I've been talking to other Innkeepers around the world. We're all experiencing this problem. It's a hiccup. Blizzard's aware of it, and they're working on it. Or the flip side of that is you walk in, you jump into the Discord, and you go, hey, is anybody else having a problem? They go, no, it's working great. Then automatically you have an issue on your side. So it is a nice, valuable resource for troubleshooting as as well.
Yeah, and I remember just real quick to speak on that, because I remember the first weekend that after NEMZ had been released and available. And I remember I woke up and there were messages in the Discord, and it was, I say this is cool, it was obviously a very stressful time for Innkeepers because firesides weren't working, they were down, right? But we knew this because, or at least I did when I woke up, and I had an event that day that people in Europe, because they're up before us, right? And they had their events starting before us, they were like, hey, having major problems, what's going on? So we literally, you hear through the literal grapevine when there are issues. And just like you said, Root, you get that kind of comfort that you're not doing something wrong. It is a global issue. And it is, of course, not great when that happens. But at least at an event, being able to say, I'm talking with Innkeepers around the globe. This is not a centralized thing. This is a global thing. It's a bigger picture problem. Even if it was just NA or something like that, that helps too, being able to talk to your patrons and just say, I'm part of this community and we're all talking about it. We're all trying to find a fix. We should have a fix soon. We're working on it. And as soon as one person knows it's working again, they're going to share that with us. And then we'll know, and then we can test and get back in. And that is what happened. So that was kind of cool because it, obviously is the time zones go by, you can get a heads up on potential issues as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got some different channels and how we break it down on the server for where our communications happen. We don't have a single big channel that everybody jumps in and yells, because that would just be chaotic. So going down our public channels that we have one called Server Info, which just has a breakdown of all the server information in there. So it's a great starting point. You go there if you want to know where stuff is. That's kind of going to tell you where it is. We have a Fireside Chat channel, which is just Fireside Chat. It's kind of a general topic conversation area. Just about anything goes. It's a nice casual place to talk Hearthstone with other fellow Innkeepers. We have the Fireside FAQ, and that's where we post all the official Blizzard answers. So if one of us, any of our Innkeepers, asks Blizzard a question and Blizzard responds to that Innkeeper then shares that information with the rest of the Discord server. We throw it up there in the Fireside FAQ. So that way, if anybody else has that same question, they can check there first and go, oh, wow, someone's already asked that question. I don't need to bother Blizzard with it because there's the answer right there. So we have that resource available for everybody. Illyria, can you explain how the member intros works? Because I think that's a little bit of a requirement on our server.
It is. We don't ask for too much. We just ask for a few questions. And basically what we want to know is how long you've been organizing and why you do it. And so if this is your first event, that's totally fine. And we actually I'm going to give her a shout out. I think it's the Jen who joined us just tonight. And in her intro, she just said, and she's from Tucson, Arizona. It's not how do you guys say Tucson? I feel like
Tucson. That'd be Tucson.
I say it
no
weird.
worries.
I was like, I feel like I'm not saying this
or
right.
do you? I don't
Tucson.
know. Tucson. Tucson. I liked it. I'm going to go visit Tucson now.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I'm so sorry, Jen, that I got that so wrong. She's from Tucson, Arizona. And she hasn't hosted a fireside yet, but she's planning her first one, and she can't wait to get things started. And she's been trying to find a gathering to go to after a few months, and there weren't really any options. So she's decided to make her own. And so that's again, like what we kind of love. And that's why we want to ask those questions, because whether you're coming in with a lot or a little experience, if you're coming in not with a lot, we'll kind of have a heads up on that. So when you're asking questions, we can know to kind of be pretty thorough with how we're answering, just to be clear and to make sure that you're getting the information that's going to really help you and be beneficial. But if you come in and you're, have a ton of experience, maybe we won't feel the need to necessarily go into such detail. So, but you know what I mean? It's not necessarily a bad thing either way. It's just, it'll help us help you better if we get an idea of whether you're doing it just for fun or for business. And that's because quite a few of the established innkeepers started doing it because they're associated with a restaurant or a bar or something like that. So just having an awareness of that, it can connect you with other innkeepers that are doing it for the same reasons as you. And that can be good, along with all the other people that are doing it for their own reasons. So that's why we do ask for a little member intro. And once you post that and change your server nickname, which doesn't change your Discord nickname, it won't change your name as seen in other servers, just our server. And with your location, just so we know where you're from.
Yep. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. And then, so right under that one, we do have the mod help channel. And that's pretty self-explanatory too, just asking for help with mods. And then we have a member joins channel, which is basically as new members join, they are, well, if you're a member, you would have seen it. You get it just a little kind of blurb of text explaining the channel and what we want you to do with changing your server nickname and posting your intro. But that, it should be a non-notification channel for everyone else. It's just there as a kind of aside to everything else going on, so we can track who's joining.
like instructor who just joined 20 minutes ago.
We just had 2 new people join. It was instructor, like you said, and ins, INS. So
Very cool.
ins just like one step away from keeper.
Real quick, I want to throw a shout out and say thank you to Around the Hearth, who's now auto hosting this for 6 viewers. So thank you.
Ooh,
Oh, thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Is this our
Kudos
first
to
auto
you.
host?
Woo.
Oh wow, thank you.
So looking at our fireside planning channels, this is kind of where a lot of ideas flow through. And it really helps you promote and learn about your fireside gathering. So the first one we have in here is event announcements. If you've got an event, announce it. This is where we want to hear about the fireside gathering you're putting on. We have, as Larry said, close to 200 people from around the planet. There might be somebody close to you, and you post your event and go, you know what, that's only an hour or so away from me. I think I'm going to go check that out. And they may not any other way know about that event. So post that there. That also encourages other innkeepers. They see stuff is happening, so it's a really cool thing to have. Fireside decor. You look at ideas, what people are doing. This is one of our newer channels. So when people set up their fireside gathering, if they have cool, like these little candles are really big right now, the little battery operated candles, people loving those things, lighting, any kind of decor that people around just to spice up their fireside gathering. You'll find pictures of those right there. Side event ideas. Look at side event ideas. This is where you're going to go for some of the most amazing ideas to keep your fireside gathering entertaining when other people are either doing a tournament or you don't even want to do a tournament. You just want to do a bunch of crazy ideas. There are plenty of them in here. It lives. That's what that channel is for. It's so great. So many cool ideas in there.
Yeah.
Tournament planning.
It's
if you've got,
actually insane.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
it's insane how many different things are posted in side event ideas. And we do try to pin, and this is true for all channels, we will try and pin kind of the most interesting or fun or just, kind of relevant information there so that, because sometimes going through a wall of text isn't that fun. So you can, especially in side event ideas, check out the pinned messages at the top, and whether it's on the app or on the PC version of Discord, just hit the pin that's at the top and it'll open up a list for you. And it'll always have a little red dot next to it if there's a newly pinned post that you haven't seen yet. So you can be sure that you're staying on top of the new content. But my gosh, like my 2 biggest highlights tonight were from that channel from this past week, because that's where everyone seems to really experiment and have fun, and that's where we get the mixture of what everyone else is kind of trying to do.
Yeah, if you don't know what to do, just ask. Like, hey guys, I'm looking for a side event. I'm gonna have 8 people are gonna show up to my fireside gathering. I don't have enough for a tournament. Can you help me save my fireside gathering? And you'll probably get 20 answers on what to do with 8 people at a fireside gathering. So you will have more than enough to do there. So if you have any questions, always ask in there. Another great resource, I use this one a lot. I know some of my fellow innkeepers do from Florida Fireside, the tournament planning. If you've ever been in the middle of a tournament and somebody all of a sudden leaves and you have no idea what to do, like, how do I drop this person mid-game? What do I do? Yeah. Ask that question in tournament planning. It's a great place to either plan your tournament or actually get help when you're running a tournament and something goes really wonky, whether it's a person leaving or someone cheating or who knows what happens. People have experience with just about everything. Maticus, we talked about him earlier. He's a great resource for this. He hosts a lot of events. He's usually in there to ask, or rather answer questions about what's the Battlefy. So he'll answer a lot of Battlefy questions. He's pretty much well versed in Battlefy. He can answer a lot of questions on there. So if you're hosting a tournament with Battlefy and you get stuck and something's kind of crazy, you don't understand what's going on, you jump in there, you ask a question, you'll get an answer. You don't get that anywhere else. So that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, there's so many of us. There's so many of us that have been involved with highly competitive tournaments. When you think of firesides, you might just think of the casual fireside, but there's a lot of us, especially with HCT, that have experience with highly competitive events. So, maybe you don't want to run a super casual fireside. Maybe your community wants really competitive events and tournaments. So we are a really good resource for that. Like you said, like people always answering. So don't be afraid if, oh, I don't really want to do fun stuff. I kind of want to do more serious stuff. That's totally okay. And as long as you're doing what your community wants, it's going to be a positive impact. And that's what we're aiming to support. And I will give a special shout out. Another one. I need to have a limited number of special shout outs.
And it's like the shout out episode. What's going on?
It's like the shout out episode. So I'm going to shout out to Marspad, Calgary Innkeeper, because he has volunteered every week in tournament planning to pin the current Fireside Brawl and the Tavern Brawls.
Nice.
So that's, again, it's current information for you that you don't need to necessarily go out and try and find. It's going to be accessible for you there. Super easy.
So next one in here, we have venue planning. Fantastic resource.
Our favorite conversation,
isn't it?
Innkeepers.
Yeah. It really is. And there are like, you can play 20 questions in here all day.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Do I have enough Wi-Fi? What are the ports that would need to be open? What do I need to tell this police people? It's just everything. Enough power allotment. All those questions that you think of when you look at a venue get asked in here. Do I have enough time? Is there enough parking? Everything. We've had presentations at Innkeeper Summits. We've talked ad nauseum about planning a proper venue. And there's still plenty of stuff to talk about in the venue planning area. Do we have enough AC? Is there enough, is there going to be security at night? It's everything. There's so many things that you don't think about when you first decide you're going to run a fireside gathering for most people. You just think, hey, this sounds like fun. I'm going to do this. Maybe you don't even think you need permission. I'm just going to show up at Starbucks and host one of these things. And jump in there, and you'll find out a lot of the stuff that people have gone through trial and error and have a lot of great answers and resources for you. Yes, Larry said we love talking venue planning because that seems to be one of the hardest things about fireside gathering and hosting them is finding a great spot and then keeping that great spot. So we talk about all those things in the venue planning.
Yeah, it can be so daunting when you start out to try and find a good venue. And once you really get into it, like you were just saying, like all the different intricacies of, and it's so funny because every venue has its different challenges. So it's not even easy to say, like you can say this is your base, like this is what you should go in and ask about. But then your second round of information gathering and question asking with the venue owner and things like that, like it's going to change. So we really feel all the frustrations involved with venue planning. I think like just a few months ago, I had a venue, they had to bow out like a week away because they forgot they were in a wedding. Like everyone that worked there.
Wow.
I was like, oh, what? Okay, I find a new place. And I did, and it was
Did you
fine.
explain to them that it was Hearthstone? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, look, I got a bunch of guys playing an E-game. We're playing E-cards and...
It wasn't anything bad. And that's the thing too, is a lot of what I think we encourage in the server is even if things go bad, like just keep a positive spin on it and try and keep the rapport even when people fail you in a sense, whether it's volunteer or venue owner. Like if they don't kind of match your expectations for any reason, just don't take it personally, like keep that good rapport, and we can be really good support in those trying moments. So I know you want to do is scream at someone, but being an innkeeper is just about positivity and fun and doing what you can to help your community and just make things happen no matter what. So.
Now, I'll say for venue planning and tournament, just before any event, I wig out, and the people who help me with Flora Fireside, they know this. I get nervous. I second guess everything. I panic. It's not going to work. No one's going to show up. I go through it every single event that I do. And there's a lot of times I'll come into the Discord server and express that, and everybody else just be like, yeah, I know what you're feeling. I've been there, but just, it's going to be okay. Just go do the tournament. Everybody's going to show up. And then everybody shows up, and I'm fine. But I go through it it's complete, almost full panic attack before every event. So it is a great resource to have to go, because people understand. They've been there. And, if I talk to someone else who hasn't either run any kind of event, especially run a fireside event, they have no idea what we're talking about. So, it's might as well be talking to my dog. So.
All right. So I guess that brings us to the community section, doesn't it?
Whoa, no, it does not.
Oh, did we
have a
one?
whole...
Prizing.
I mean, come on.
Prizing. Who goes to these things for the prizes?
Oh my gosh, I feel like you're trolling because Rude just wants to talk about his awesome prizes he's been making on his. How many 3D printers do you have?
I didn't
now?
just like lob that out there to him.
No, so check this out. So the other day I had to, because somebody said I had to have a stupid little Lego man to show the proper size comparison because people can't do like inches or whatever. And so I went to the little Walgreens, like a drugstore or whatever, the corner. And number one, I got like caveman Batman Lego man. And so I don't think that's like a fair assessment of height because he's got the pointy ears and everything. But they had like two mystery, I think series 2, cute but deadlies that were like $3 a piece. Just sitting on the shelf, like nobody knew what they were. I'm like, hello. And so, yeah, I've got those for the event because why not? And I do have this really cool little trophy that I've been working on. This is my little Hearthstone Championship trophy that I'm going to be giving out.
So cool.
Yeah, this is what we're going to give whoever wins the tournament is going to get that. Not everybody, obviously, but whoever wins my tournament is going to get that bad boy. It's like can
I come play?
Nice. If you make it in the United States, I'm not shipping to Canada, but
will you sponsor me?
No.
I'll go play.
But yeah, these. I mean, I'm having a blast. Like, I do have the 3D printers. I'm having a blast printing. I can't wait to show you guys next week what's coming off of there. In addition to my army of boom bots, which we'll be giving out, I've got little Hearthstones that we're just going to give away as raffles. We've got the cute but deadlies. There's always stuff to give away. I mean, I'm gonna have Avantis. I'm queuing you up to show your bottle of dust because mine are all gone. I only have empty. Well, there it is. So this is arcane dust. This is pixie dust. You get this off of Amazon or anywhere else. You can buy the little bottles they come with the corks. You buy the pixie dust and funnels. Get funnels and you fill them up, and people go gaga over this thing. Leary does something even better where she throws in multiple colors, and then she also are they like cake toppings that you use? Are those edible?
It's completely edible. I'll go grab them real quick because they're
Mine is completely edible.
The whole thing? Oh, okay. You meant like the whole jar and everything. You can have a sugar rush. You're gonna get like
I actually have 4 different ones.
So check these out. These are awesome.
So this is from. So I do them themed to get based on the events that I'm running. So this is Love Is in the Air themed, and it was a bigger bottle that has pink sugar dust in it and different colored hearts. And then we had Journey Tongaro. And I ordered different bottles this time, so they're a bit smaller. And this has a little dinosaur in there, some smashed sugar to make the crystals, and just like a little flower, and that's going to have green dust, of course. And some nerds make really good stones that are edible.
Yeah.
Stones. It took me a while to figure out what to do for stones. This is definitely maybe my favorite to date. This was the Knights of the Frozen Throne one. And so this one has blue dust, again, some smashed sugar rock. I have the metal bowls in there as well. And it's just such nice colors. And I made cupcakes with extra of this kind of mixture as well. They're really cool. And then the last one was Hallow's End, which is orange dust with some bones and some green and purple, black kind of string things. And then some dark metallic bowls in there. And for the next lot, I'm actually going bigger. I'm going with they're probably like that big, the bottles. And those are going to be a surprise. I will share those with you when they're done. They're not done yet.
So yeah,
they're just a fun little thing that you can switch up every time.
And there's so many ways to be creative. You don't have to break your bank to provide prizes and for every tournament. And that's one of the things I love about the prizing ideas is because it's not just, I mean, I got lucky with the cute but deadlies, but it's not just go buy stuff in the gear store when it's on sale or hope for a support box or a kit from Blizzard, or wait till you have extra stuff laying around the house that you're never going to use again. So you might as well just bring that to the fireside to give away. You will find there's going to be, in every fireside gathering, there's going to be those people who are just there for the prizes. And as soon as your prizes are done, like if you're giving away raffles or anything else, as soon as that is done, they'll come up. They'll even ask you, "Hey, are you giving away any more prizes?" You're like, "Well, no." And they're like, "All right, peace, I'm out." And you're like, "All right, see you next time." And they'll come back next month, and they will play as long as you've got a prize to give away, and they can possibly win something. They'll be there. But that's cool because that's how they want to play, and that's how they want to spend their time with you, and that's fantastic. But you don't have to break your bank just to provide something for your patrons to have. Just get creative with it.
Yeah, so
and it's
my
kind of fun to do.
of...
And there's a lot of.
Go ahead.
You have the floor, sir.
I was just going to say, my little bottles of pixie dust or arcane dust, the bottles themselves, I buy at like 48 at a time for $20. And then I put blue pixie stick in here so that they
that's
can
what I
eat
did.
it if they want. And you can buy like 90 pixie sticks for like $8. So for $30, you've got 48 bottles of arcane dust to give away that people can get sugar highs off of, and everybody has a good time.
You get the giant ones like
Oh
this?
no. I get the small, like the little ones.
These were cheaper. I did the cost analysis, and the giant pixie sticks, the amount of pixie dust you get in here for arcane dust, the blue ones were cheaper than buying all the little ones, plus a lot less to open.
Nice.
So I did 48 of them, and I had 3 left over from whatever minute he sent me. So
That's crazy. I go to play. I don't know if it's in the States. It's called Bulk Barn, and when it's not on sale, I just get the colored sugar. And I honestly like every time I go in, I think they're undercharging me because it's like I'll get like a mass, and it's like $4, and with that I could do at least 50 bottles. I am upping my size, so it'll go down a little, but I'm trying maybe not sugar for this one because it is different, right? We're going underground.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Might change it up, but and I also couldn't find brown sparkling sugar.
I was gonna say,
I need to
surprise! You're getting a bottle of dirt.
No, you know what? You ever have the mud pudding where they do earthworms, the gummy worms inside of the pudding?
Yes.
You can do that. You could do rock candy. Rock candy's a thing.
Oh,
so there's
rock candy I love to do because of the whole crystal aspect.
Yeah.
I just get them. They're like $1.
Yeah, get them and
on a
smash
wooden
them,
stick, and I just smash them. And then
so there's a lot of things.
So once you have like a conveyor belt to like take all the pieces in, I get real.
You have to assembly line everything. All right, so let's move on to the stuff we have in community now, Mr. Avantis. I'll let you take the realm or the helm on this one.
So the first channel we have in the community section is basically just community building. If you have questions on how to help start or grow a community in your area, this is where you can come to ask for help or ask for advice or anything. Like, most of us have all been there. When I started in Knoxville, it was me and like 5 friends, and we've now grown to a community of over 200 players. So, we're more than happy to help give out advice or ideas. We have a channel on community graphics, basically where other innkeepers who are far more astute in the arts than I, who can barely draw a stick figure, will help share art assets for events. You might even ask some to, do an event, do a piece of art specifically for your event. And we have so many talented people in this group.
Yeah.
I just cannot say that enough. That you have great resources here. We have the event pictures group where we as innkeepers want to see what you guys are doing. So please take lots of pictures and then share them with us so that we can see how awesome your events are and the things that you're doing that are working well for you, and possibly adapt those to us as well. We just had a question in chat from where was it? DES_Adam, who asked, have you ever made baked goods for a gathering? We have a channel for that. The Fireside Kitchen is a great resource where you can get recipes and ideas for baked goods. Like, Who wants a funnel cake? You never know what you're going to find in there. Then we have the Fireside Market. If you are if you're a creative type and more on the building and making types of stuff, you can offer goods and services for sale through the Fireside Market. Maybe you could find a 3D printed boom bot. Who knows? It's just crazy in there.
The only cautionary thing we do say is that we don't want to facilitate making, it's hard to word it exactly right, but basically anything that is IP of Blizzard, so
yes.
Their intellectual property, we should not be encouraging people to buy that from other people making it. So if
I look at it this way,
server,
I'm not selling somebody Boombot. I'll sell them my time and material that I'm putting together that happens to look a lot like a Boombot.
I have no comment on this. I don't know how I feel about it.
All right.
I haven't decided how I feel about it.
Basically, it's just, I mean, I could send them the plastic just on a spool and go, well, if you think about it, it's a Boombot. But I could just, hit a couple buttons and send them the same amount of plastic in a different shape.
All you're sending them is melted plastic.
Melted plastic, with painted melted plastic.
So, all right.
We should get an official comment from Jesse on that.
Yeah, so wait, Jesse's PMing me. I'll be right back.
All right. So the next channel is FSG and HCT updates. So basically, this is where you can find any updates on officially sanctioned programs like the Hearthstone Championship Tour. Then we also have the gameplay chat, which was mentioned earlier. Jordan from Utah has done a great job of updating all the new release cards in that area. We also like to hear anything you might have game related. Did you have a great play? Did you see an interaction that just blew your mind? Share it with us in the gameplay chat. We also have, and I mean, it's not an official Discord server without a memes channel. You can see Illyri's face. This is by far her favorite channel in the Discord.
Okay, but Dennis has been slacking. Dennis, come back to us, Dennis. So Dennis,
We
for
miss
those of you who don't
you.
know, is a Russian innkeeper who is the king of memes, the king of Hearthstone memes biggest one I've ever seen. But he gets quiet in between expansions. So he's been quiet lately, and Dennis, I missed your memes.
Yeah,
it is the only not safe for work channel. There hasn't been an influx of things not safe for work, but whilst I was
Marspad says he's got his back.
Yeah,
Woo,
Mars has
Marspad.
been doing a good job with it.
So
It is not safe for work, but there really isn't anything. We wouldn't allow supercore or nudie stuff or whatever. It's just meant to be like if you're at work, you might not want to. It's just a warning more than a
Maybe you want a drawn picture of the Innkeeper laying on a bearskin rug in front of the hearth. Who knows what you'll find in the meme channel?
That did happen.
Now I want Scott to do that.
He did. There's a picture. Pics or it happened. There's a picture.
Pics and
Someone
it
had
happened.
to post.
All right. So the next channel is the off-topic channel, and this is where you'll find anything non-Hearthstone related. So you want to talk about other Blizzard games? This is the channel for that to happen. Then you'll have, besides the meme channel, what is probably the other most important channel, and that is the podcast chat channel, where you can find all the information related to this show, and you can leave us feedback and interact with us, one-on-one. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show. We love to hear from you guys. So
You can ask questions in there.
Yes.
I just posted the pictures of the Finley Cup, Sir Finley Cup. They're in there with Caveman Batman. So
all right,
he's in there too. I hate Caveman Batman.
So then there is the social media channel, which is where you'll find all the info on using various social media platforms to kind of promote your events. And then there's the streaming chat, where if you have questions on how to go about live streaming your events or anything like that, you can ask those
Even your
questions.
own games.
Yes, or just games. You can find those answers there in the streaming chat channel. So then we also have a couple of voice chats. You never know. Somebody might just be hanging out and want to chat. As we said earlier, this is a global community. How often can you say you can just hop into a channel on a server and talk to the Schwinghammer in Germany, or
that's so good.
talk to Lucas, our good friend Lucas over in Amsterdam? I mean, you can just, hop in and talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. And we have two channels for that. The Fireside Talk, which is just like the Fireside Chat. Anything you want to talk about relating to Fireside Gatherings. And then we have the Podcast Talk, where, again, if you catch us in there, if you want to talk to us, let us know. We can jump in there. And we can just talk about what's going on with the podcast, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. We love that feedback.
Yeah, we certainly do. And I was giggling for a second there because Mars posted a meme in the meme channel, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's funny. So
go check it out.
Okay.
That was good, Mars.
So we have a whole nother section that's probably going to take another 45 minutes to an hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually split this off, and we're going to do a follow-up episode next week on hints and tricks in Discord to make your experience even better, because let's be honest, user experience is everything, whether it's Discord or Fireside Gatherings. So,
and one other thing to keep in mind, like all the stuff we've been talking about for our own Innkeeper Discord server, which is a tremendous asset, you can do the same for your own Fireside Gatherings. So you can have your patrons join your Discord server. It's free to set up, and they can come in there and chat amongst themselves. You can send out your announcements, any information. We've got one for Florida Fireside. People hang out in there and they stream, but they do all kinds of fun stuff. And it's been an asset. So you can do that for your own Fireside. Just set one up. And I'm sure that like Illyri can help you, Avantis can help you, I can help you. Any of us can help you set that up. Again, it's free to do, and it gives people that resource. It is an incredibly popular chat platform. It's available just real quick. I know a lot of people already know this, but it's available on anything. So if it's on your phone, whether or not you have an iPhone or an Android, it works on your phone. If you have an Windows or Mac, it works. It works on anything. It works in a browser. So yeah, just get it, and then your patrons will be able to communicate with themselves, or not themselves. That'd be kind of crazy, but amongst themselves and with you and other innkeepers. It's really cool.
Absolutely. So, all right, it's that time where we ask about questions or feedback. Have we had anything posted in the podcast chat channel?
Just my awesome pictures of the Sir Finley Cup.
Okay. Well, then we will definitely be back, as I said, next week to continue this discussion. So we want to thank you all for joining us this week. On episode 12, we talked about what is the Discord chat server, what benefits are there available. Next week on episode 13, we will continue this discussion talking about hints and tricks while using Discord. So, Illyri, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
I certainly will. Before I do, I will just comment on something that Mars is saying in chat. Basically, that if you are planning to host a Fireside Gathering, it does seem that on the Fireside Gatherings website, your end time is a very strict end time. Yes. I think we have mentioned this before, but just to remind you, it has caught a few people off guard, along with the now in place 7-day lead time on being able to host an event. That is minimum. So if I tried to make a Fireside Gathering on firesidegatherings.com right now, the soonest I could host an event would be on next Tuesday.
In other words, you would not be able to host one this weekend. You have to pre-plan, and you have to get your timing right, which I like, because if you say your Fireside Gathering ends at 8 p.m., And then you have people show up after 8. It used to be that thing would still be going like till 11, 12 o'clock at night. So you have people show up after your event to the area where your event was. They're confused. They don't know what's going on, yet they can still join the fireside. So they don't know that it's still running. Well, did everybody leave? Where'd they go? Are they hiding? So it led to negative experiences. So I love the fact that you say it ends at 8. It ends at 8. You just need to be able to manage your time as an innkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do want to find me on social media, the best place to find and contact me besides the Discord server is going to be on Twitter. And you can find me at Alerri. That's ALEIRRI. How about you, Root?
You know what? I'm going to tell people to start looking for me at Florida Fireside. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. Florida Fireside is not just me and its entire group of phenomenal people here in Orlando, Florida, that are dedicated to improving the Hearthstone experience for innkeepers and patrons alike. So Florida Fireside for everything you need for me.com, or just Twitter or Facebooks. What about you, Avantes?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at AvantesHS, or you can find me every week on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern doing the Hero Power Hearthstone podcast with my co-hosts Versika and Zeroshio. So
awesome.
Don't forget, you can also find all of these resources that we have talked about besides the Discord server, like the Kahoot and the trivia games, over at hsinnkeepers.com, or you can use the official Blizzard resources, which is resources.firesidegatherings.com. And if you have not already done so and are interested in joining our Discord server, you can find that at bit.ly/hsinnkeepers. That's going to do it for this week. We want to thank everyone for joining us in chat, and all of you watching live or listening via the download of your choice. We'll see you all again next week.
See ya.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Love ya.
Thanks for listening to the Innkeepers podcast. For all sorts of Hearthstone community-related goodness, check out hsinnkeepers.com. Ah, come on now. Are you just roping me along? Swing hammer!